Hello everybody, welcome back to Space Engineers Permadeath Survival with me, Prime, and yeah, I'm stood on top of our rather enormous missile. It's got a little nuclear, well, not nuclear, but a warhead there, bunch of other stuff in here. This is about as built as this is going to get, although there is one little change I want to make to it before we start working on that. So that is going to be the launcher. It's going to need some significant modification. So yeah, here we've got the battery. We've got our parachute block onto this one, and then this one we have our cargo container, which we no longer need because we have this. We have our little passageway there to our parachute, and the whole point of this cargo container is just so that we can fill in the parachute canvas, which, to be honest, doesn't need a whole cargo container to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that just with a conveyor junction. It'll save a bit of weight, save a lot of resources, and just make this thing just a little bit more sensible. Where are my... yeah, there we are, 7 conveyors. So we don't even need like a special conveyor thing. We could just do that. But in the interest of... actually, no, that's probably about as good as we need it to be. Why overcomplicate it? I mean, it's not a structural block. It'll have done its job by the time this gets anywhere near danger. Let's just do it this way. Right. I need materials for that. Here we go. There, see? So that now does the same job as it did before, just without the extra cargo container, which means less cobalt requirement to do this. Given that there's already plenty of cobalt requirement there, and potentially in the mass block that this is using, we can cut that down. Right, how are we on battery power at the moment? I said last time that we were going to check on this, so 12.4% right now. None of those lights will come on until at least 25%, so it seems to be going up slowly. So right, missile setup. So the first thing we've got is our event controller. So we're going to call this missile event. So missile event is going to need some sort of a trigger. So I think what we could do is we could go with an altitude trigger. So altitude. Now we've got to be cautious here because I don't want like this whole thing triggering anything. The warhead is a live warhead on this thing. It's not enabled right now, but it can go boom if we're not careful. So when you're setting these up, be extremely careful. Ideally, I'd be doing this way over there somewhere, but that's not really an option for me right now. So okay, let's get event on here. And we need to actually name our timers as well. So we're just going to call that missile. Just call it shoot start. And the second timer is going to be missile shoot end. Right. Loose namings for what they are, but at least then I can now call upon them here a lot easier. Right, so altitude equal to or less than it needs to be. So we need to decide when do we want to actually open our parachute. Well, actually no, when do we want to actually spin up and start the countdown to open our parachute. Max speed in this game is 100 meters per second, and you can guarantee that by the time it gets down to, say, 2-3 kilometers off the ground, it's doing 100 meters per second. So at 100 meters per second, 800 meters is 8 whole seconds, until the parachute drops, and then obviously everything slows down a fair amount. Max range for turrets for the enemy is around about, we'll call it 1 kilometer. It's actually around about 800 meters, but we'll call it 1 kilometer. So it all needs to be said and done before we get to 1 kilometer. At that point, the decoys need to be ahead of this thing, and this needs to be already accelerating back up to full speed again. So typical planetary gravity, let's call it 1g, even though this is 1.2. If we call it 1, we're playing on the safe side here. At 1g, that's 9.8 meters per second per second. So to get up to 100 meters per second, you need about 10 seconds, which is, reasonable. So that's about another kilometer. Well, it's under a kilometer because you're a bit slower. So 1 kilometer, so we're about 2 kilometers minimum to actually release the parachute, I think. We could probably do doing this with plenty of time. Bear in mind as well, per time our atmosphere is quite thin from quite a low altitude, so we need to go, I think we need to be doing like 3Ks max. So at 3Ks, that gives us 30 seconds before it hits the ground. That's when everything needs to start happening. So let's say 3,000 meters. Everything begins at that point. Right, the actions it needs to take. So the gyroscope, we need the overrides turned on. We can just toggle the block on, I think. We'll turn it off initially and have overrides set ready for when it turns on. So we'll just have it turn on. The second thing I need it to do is to start our first timer block. So we start it, we don't trigger it immediately. That's fine for that. We're not going to arm the warhead at this point. So that's all this needs to do, at least at the minute. Okay, so that would be this one. Now we need to go to the first timer block. So that's the timer block that gets started by this. So at 3,000 meters from the ground, we are 30 seconds away from impact, assuming that we've got to full speed by then, which we most certainly will have done. So we have 10 seconds before we get to 2,000 meters. I think that's plenty of time for this thing to speed up. I think we probably want to be going to like 5 seconds maximum for spin up time.
Energy low.
Ooh, energy's low. Okay, we're going to have to be quite quick about this one. So we're going to go 5 seconds delay. That gives time for spin up of speed. And then I'm going to go and get my energy before we actually do the next bit. Otherwise I'm going to get carried away and we're going to die while I can't see my interface. Right, so where were we? So missile shoot start, 5 second delay. Then what it needs to do, yeah, it's going to need to release the merge blocks. We've got 4 merge blocks here and I don't know which one's which, so we're going to have to start naming some merge blocks. Decoy 2 merge. Okay. Decoy 1 merge. Toggle off. Decoy 2 merge, toggle off. Okay, so that will release the decoys. At the same time, we need to deploy our parachute. So, open, I think it would be. Yeah. Okay, so open the parachute. Bump. That slows us down, allows the decoys to get away. And we need to start the end timer at that point. Right, so that's a 5 second delay. So by the time this happens, we should be around 2.5 kilometers from the ground. Now, parachutes don't open absolutely instantly. I'm not sure if the effect is applied instantly though. We don't want to get our merge blocks too far ahead of this, because otherwise they'll hit the ground and blow up or get shot way before this thing gets anywhere near where they need to go. So what we're going to do is missile start end will only be like 1 second, I think, because in 1 second the parachute can open and start to slow us down just enough to let the decoys get just ahead of this thing. Hopefully that's fine. Okay, right, so 1 second delay is the minimum you can do anyway. apart from a trigger now, and a trigger now would just basically close the parachute immediately. So set up actions. First thing this needs to do is arm the warhead. So arm warhead. And the second thing it needs to do is close the parachute hatch. That should be the end of the whole thing. The thing will still be spinning. And I'm fine with that because it needs to be spinning to sort of distribute any damage that it's going to take across the hull instead of it all being in one place. I'm quite pleased with that idea. Right, so now this needs some configuration. So we're going to turn it off. We're going to override controls, and it's the yaw control that it needs to operate on. We're going to give it maximum speed, to be honest. The faster it spins, the further out they're going to get those blocks. Should be plenty. Should be enough to fling those out a little bit. They're going to have 5 seconds for it to spin up. 1 second for the parachute to go bump and then close again. Then this thing needs a bit of time to regain acceleration. And then the whole thing goes off. Boom. I think I'm fairly happy with that. I don't think we necessarily need any sensors for triggering this. We could put one on, but to be totally honest with you, I think with this thing hitting first and all of the impact from this hitting the ground going into the actual warhead, it's going to detonate for sure. Right, I think that's this setup. So we're going to grind this off. Mass block, let me think. Before I take that off. The mass block needs to be on from the point of launch. But that can be done by the timers on the launcher. So I think for a minute we're going to leave the mass block off. I just want to make sure it is off. Yes. So we leave that off in the blueprint to prevent any weird accidentalness. Right. So there we have it. Our very special missile. I'm going to blueprint this thing from here. Oh, it needs a name. Right. Let's call this Wide Boy. Kind of like Fat Man. Anybody with history behind them will actually know what I mean by this. Done. We now need to grind it down and sort of deposit all of the cargo somewhere a little bit more useful. I also need to top up our oxygen. Good. I need to... Oh, why did I put it like this? Okay, we're going to have to just keep an eye on our oxygen because where I am right now, I have a bottle that needs to be... Can I do it from in there? O2. No, it's not a big enough port. Got 2 bottles here that are at 0, and I could just move this thing. But that'd be a bit of a pain in the neck. Right, okay, we're just going to keep an eye on our oxygen. So what I need to do, I mean, once I've got that out of the way, we're going to have a bit more room to work here. Just need to make sure I've got access to a cargo container here. We're in a lot of gravity here because it's 1.31 gravity because of the gravity from that and the gravity from down there at the same time. It's a bit of much. Right, yeah, we've got access there. Okay, that's good. I'm going to have to turn the gravity on here down, so I'm going to just drop this gravity a bit. Yeah, just enough to stop us from floating away, but enough not to be a problem. Then we're going to have to grind this whole thing down. please. Stop it. Right, battery components. We've only got a couple of power cells here, so I think we're going to need to turn the assembler on. We might need to turn a refinery on as well for some of this. Production. I'm going to put... Well, I need a few batteries now, so large grid. Warfare battery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 batteries. 7. 6 for the base, 1 for that. So we get rid of that, but it's fine. So while that's doing its thing there and slowly draining our power even more, now that that's a quarter, I bet you that goes back down again very soon. We need to think about how we're going to do what we're doing here. Now, there's a bit of a space there. There's like only 2 blocks though, so I don't think that's enough space to actually do this whole construction thing. If we took out these 3 blocks, moved them, possibly could do it in this space here, but my personal thoughts are we lose that from there and put it somewhere maybe on the bottom for just docking purposes, or possibly on top maybe, or on the side here. We just move this anywhere else but there, and then we can build the actual constructor on the back of here. The mass of the batteries here and all of this and all of this should offset the mass of what we're putting on here a little bit to keep the center of gravity somewhere near where the piston's going to be, which is ideal. So we're going to construct off the side of here, I think. Let's get rid of that thing. I don't have any materials for that. We'll put all this back in a minute. Okay, let's put that back and see if I can get 1 battery's worth out of here. Going to be waiting a little while for power cells, I think. I think primarily we need to just shove those power cells right to the front. They're going to need a lot of nickel to build, which is why we've got the refinery running. So we have a lot of nickel ore. Okay, this will be the last trip. Did that... No, what did I just do? Put something randomly to production. Don't hold shift when you click. That's massive. Okay, so that goes in there. I think everything went into the 1 container, so that's enough there. Just under 1 full container for a missile. So given the way that we've got 6 of these, we've got enough to build 6 missiles. That's plenty. Okay. Ugh, that feels horrible. I think we need to... Let's see, the way I was thinking of doing it is we pull up the blueprint through the welding platform, which will be over there, so that the missile will be hanging kind of like just above the platform, ready to be dropped through it. That way it's in the gravity well for as long as possible, so it can get to full acceleration before it gets out of here. That should stop it from like stopping on the way in, because there's always the possibility that the game could stop the drifting missile from moving before it gets grabbed by the gravity. Once it's grabbed by the gravity, it's definitely going to make it to the surface, but if it takes too long to get into gravity, it will get stopped by the game as just a randomly drifting object. Right, so what do we need to do here?
Energy low.
We need to get our energy. There we go, energies. I need some oxygen as well, so a very brief visit to this cockpit. We've got oxygen for days in there, so we're good. Right, so ideally I kind of need to get up there. I think I can actually deconstruct all this and bring the whole thing down. Right, I'm just going to literally give this a nudge straight down. Let's get it as close to the center as we can. Whoa, 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 whoa. It's wonky as hell again, but I've got access to both sides now. Just about. Right, so O2 generator. Let's get these in here. No. Okay, oxygen. Tank. Can't access the oxygen tanks. We need ice in there. Do we have any ice left anywhere in this system? Or do I have to go mine some? No. Okay, we're going to have to mine some ice at some point. Okay, they can wait a little bit. Right, so this thing is somehow locked onto there. It's good enough for me. I can get up to there just fine. Right, so let's build a little walkway up. That's coming off anyway. Yeah, let's put that there and put one of these on there just to be safe. Okay. And that thing, we can just put the gravity up just a teeny tiny bit more. It's like 0.4-ish. Good. Right, so we now have access. That can come off, actually. Right. This needs to come off. I think I'm going to run out of materials at some point. Is that the one that's got all the stuff in it? Yeah. Kind of is. Since small cargo container 2. Small cargo container 1, we'll put this temporary stuff in here. Not to mess up with that list there, because we're going to need to refer to it later. Okay, so that's off, and this needs to come off. We're not going to use them. It's a shame. Would have been kind of cool. Right, so here we've got cargo access ports right there, which is perfect. We know our missile is just over 2 blocks wide, so we need these full 3 blocks here to do this with. I think the best way to go about this... hang on, 1, 2, 3... Not 1... Is that a cargo on the end? I need to go down, just to have a look at this properly. That's one way down. 1, 2, 3. What's on the end there? Nothing. Right, okay. If we put 3 welders on there, that doesn't give us access to the back of it to weld from the back, so we need to put some sort of a conveyor line around to loop in so we can get a circle. Or at least 2 sides of it welding. So I am going to need to take off that block, put a conveyor on there, and bring it out further. It's kind of crazy that we're actually building something like this up here before we've even got a place to live up here. There's priorities for you. But, you know, that's how it is. I need to put a C shape on the end of there, so C, and it's got to be that way around. but it's got to be upside down, so that way. Keep the vulnerable side facing down. We won't have the materials for that in our inventory right now, so we'll take that. And I need to get some welders in there, so I have to remember to add those onto the bar. Right, welder block 7. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was open for 6, but okay. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. So the interior space is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is just over the width. Now here, do we need to go one more? Just so that we can have the welders right there, because the welder sticks out one block and then has the head, which is like another block. And if I put the welders on there, that's out one block, that's another block. There's no room in between the two. Oof. So I'd actually have to give 3 more blocks out. It's going to be quite a lot larger. Let's just lay these welders out. See, I could have put them underneath. Have them sort of underslung, so they stick out one block. If I did the same on the other side, still doesn't leave enough room. It's going to have to be wider anyway. I'd rather kind of make everything as visibly compact as possible. These are things on the back there, so that can go like this. 2, 3, like that. So it covers the width all the way. So if I had that there would be one block between them. So I need 2 more blocks wide. Yeah. Okay, we need to go further. If I place that like that, 2, 3. Now the interior space is 1, 2, 3 wide. There's a little overlap allowed here where there's no collision, so it will fit in this space just fine. Yeah. It's getting big, but it'll do the job. It's already a little bit more robust than the other design. Should be okay. Okay, that's pretty much everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I can pull that manual. Okay. Okay. Right, yeah, let's go get our ship, do some mining, get the iron we need for this. And in the meantime, that will also get us our oxygen and our energy. So, small thrusters for this for now, just because I really don't want to be risking it. Done, except for these two. Don't think I took enough for these. So that's the space in which we will. Oh, that was lucky. Yeah, that's the space in which we'll put our missile blueprint. Right, we're going to need at least... Whoa. Gravity no gravity. Oh, it's 50 meters all the way across. It's 25 meters from that. Okay, we have to be very cautious that there's no gravity at this point. We're going to have to move the whole thing sooner or later anyway, but now they've got that there. I can just put these across here like this. This is more to protect the sensitive bits from being on the outside. Okay. So that's that. Right, so we need... This is the difficult bit, especially from this point of view. Our missile is quite long. I'm not entirely sure how many blocks it was now. But let's just do some counting. So, starting from, let's call that at the end. So, merge block, parachute block, no, so merge block, battery, parachute, conveyor, event, timer, warhead, gyro, and then the front decoy. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 blocks. 10 blocks is 25 meters. A single piston can do 10 meters extension. If I place this like this, maybe there, that kind of makes sense. These little freezers are just starting to get a bit annoying. I'll put it there. Just a minute. Right, so if I place that there, that'll get us 10 meters of movement. We need another 2 of these on top, but I don't really want to make it stupidly high. So yeah, we're going to probably need to, maybe we could probably put one more on. And then we need to get creative with the last one. The last one only needs to do 5 meters though. So I'm going to have to build my way up there so I can get to one more block on here. Hey, fun times. Uh-huh. Right. Is there a way I could have done this without having to make it so big? Okay. So here what we'd have is plates actually. Yeah. 1 plate. Let's get rid of that.
Energy low.
Let's go get some energy. Right, what I'm trying to think of a way of doing is like a zigzag. So you have 1 piston and then off that you have like a bit that comes over and down. And you can sit the next piston on top of that. So when you raise the whole thing up, the whole thing goes up 10 meters, but then you've got another piston sort of hanging off that can go up another 10 meters. So it's like stepped offset. It won't look as strong, but it will be. And then some.
Energy low.
Energy already. Just from like using my lights and my welder. Right, that's the staggered thing. I could have probably done it in such a way that has each piston right next to each other, but I don't like the idea of them kind of rubbing it up on each other too much. It probably is a hang-up from the old days when that would definitely have caused some clang. But I'm not 100% certain it works so well even since they fixed all of this. Right, let's check the batteries on here because this is docked now and it could be getting the batteries drained thanks to the base. So charge efficiency is 80%, that's always the case. stored power. You're going up slowly. That's fine. Okay. Yeah, so the power's going, it is going up. It's going to start going down again once the sun's completely gone. I think we might get another blast of sun at some point around there, but it might just be when the sun's got all the way around to the other side. Got some power there. Got some power in this, but this isn't actually feeding the base in any way. This is looking quite cool. It's looking a bit more worthy of what it was supposed to be doing rather than just being a little weird platform. Yeah, okay. So we still have pistons on this, but the pistons are not responsible for the launch, so all they have to do is lift. Not for very long either. Right, so from this side, this piston is now responsible for picking everything, picking up the blueprint and moving it through this so that it's then in launch position at the top. So we need to get up there. How much stuff have I got? I've got plenty of steel plate to plot this out at least. There it is. It's the wrong way around. Yeah. Just gonna place one here. I'll have to shoot the gap between. Oh, it's not too clever, is it? Okay, I can't do it that way. Do it this way so it doesn't stick to the thing. Right, so here we are with this. Now I want to keep this quite low, so we'll probably use plate again. If I put the plate that way up, it's going to allow me to build to the underside, so it should be okay. Now we need to get our blueprint somewhere near the center. This is possibly a little bit of a weak way to do it, but it's light. To be honest, heavy stuff doesn't really get much in the way of rigidity anyway. Is that central? Is it central at all? That it's central enough, I think, because one block over is right here, and one block the other way is right there. I think this is good enough. We could possibly do something to reinforce this a little bit. So that we do with like, I don't really want now. I really don't want to do this with like really big blocks. Yeah, okay. It's not going to bend or anything. Don't really need that last one. That last one's kind of useless. Okay, let's take these back. Just don't need them yet. Gotta be careful, because like if I come unstuck there and drift off that way, I'm going home the quick way. Right, take that off there, that's fine. Right, so that's stay in gravity, please. Right, how do we reinforce that? How do we make that look stronger? Start with that, but turn that, yeah, that way around so it's not interfering. Yeah, and just go normal halves. This is going to be stronger than doing it just single blocks. It's going to be quite a lot stronger than doing it with single blocks because we've got a double layer like a laminate. Laminate. Jesus. Right. I can't do anything on that side because these are halves, so you just don't fit. Right. Where's that ladder gone? Should still have some steel plate in my inventory. Yeah. But now I can do that. Got gravity here, that's fine. Okay, so that's that bit, and now I need to put a merge block on the end of there.
Energy low.
Yeah. And then we need to put our yeah, there we are. Can I reach you? No. By definition, it's right in the middle. So we're just going to temporarily bridge that. Let's get that built. We need some energy, so just grab what we can. What we can't, we put into production. Get some energy. We don't need oxygen just yet. Next energy go, we'll need oxygen. So like the printing part of this is actually very nearly done. I think maybe we can't build that just there. We might need to come down just a bit further. So ideally the first one of these blocks that comes down here needs to be just inside the printing area. I'm a tiny bit concerned that... Yeah, I'm a tiny bit concerned that the top part might not actually weld and the inside line might not weld. Because I don't think that is going to weld that. Since we're going sideways, we could actually put... We could change one of these and put a welder right here. Just undersling it or oversling it, put it there. That could possibly work. Actually, we don't even need to oversling it. We could just put it straight there, bam, in that spot. That would probably weld this block here. But I think I'm going to still bring this down one. Need to take out actually all of these. See, these will weld the side blocks, but they won't weld the middle, so I need something here to weld the middle. I don't know what's going to weld the back one though, so I might need to actually find some way of piping through here. And then we can put a back one on, pointing the other way. Catch it from all four sides. I think that is how it needs to be. Okay. Just put that on there. So that's literally where the projector is going to start. So let's just get you welded. This is permanent, this one. And because it's a merge block, we don't need to cut anything off once it's welded. So this is the starting point, and then it pulls it up and welds as it goes. So I need to put, yeah, this bit, I can't cut both sides because we'll end up cutting half of the thing off, but I can cut this side first, from this side, so I don't have to jump. And I can put a welder in. Now, we could have solved some of this by putting, like, articulating a lot of the welders and making them be able to move, but I don't want things going side to side on here. We've already got loads of subgridness going on here, which is kind of already slightly risky. But it's all in the direction of, yeah, we can go up and down as much as we want, but we can't go side to side. We can't rotate, and that's the sort of stuff we need to avoid here. This should be fine. Right, so let's see. We've got that, we've got that. We need a welder on the opposite side. So that means we need to take out a few blocks here. Replace them with, let's see, how many what do we need? So the block here next to this thing needs to be a C shape. Straight. Straight welder. I can put the welder in first. We'll work our way backwards because then we don't get ourselves stuck.
Energy low.
Yes, okay, energy's low. We actually need oxygen this time. I'm just going to get what I needed from there first. So don't forget. Right, you're done, you're done, you're done, you're not. So it's not a full circle. We could do these ones just to sort of add a bit of redundancy, but that doesn't work. Because that's the wrong way around. In fact, we could do all of them that way around now because there's literally no point having them this way around. They're not feeding any other conveyor lines. Oof, okay. Right, how's that being fed there to this? Certainly here we didn't need to do that anymore. We could have actually put the C shape right there, but I can't pull that unless I put something here and then build around the sides, so we might just keep that how it is for now. It doesn't look too bad, it's fine. It's a bit redundant. But that fills the space exactly where this missile's going to go. It should weld all sides perfectly. I would argue these two on each side are kind of pointless. They might help a little bit, but they might not do anything at all. So we may be able to get rid of these eventually and sort of replace them with just some conveyors. But I think it looks kind of cool how it is. I could have put like some more here and here, but they might not be necessary, so we'll just leave that as it is for now. Right, on here we also need our projector. So, projector block. Don't need the warhead, so we'll put that there. It has to be on this part because this is the only part that's actually, well, it has to be on this subgrid somewhere. So it could be anywhere along here as long as it's on that subgrid. But in the interest of keeping things neat, I'm going to place it right there. Now, which way is everything supposed to go on these? This is something I've never been able to work out really. There's that and there's that. But the image gives you no idea which way's forward and which way's not. I mean, which is forward? I'm going to put it that way. So the cross faces down. We'll just see what it does. No controls on there yet. So I need to, first thing I need to do, this is something I always forget to do. When we put our blueprint on, we're going to have to say that that's keep projection. Otherwise, once we get it lined up and everything with a built version, as soon as it's built, the projection will disappear and we have to put the blueprint back on from scratch for it to work again. Right. Keep projection. Show any buildable. No, we don't want to show any buildable until we're sure it's all the right way around. You see, it doesn't matter which way round I put that thing. Whatever I put on it always ends up the wrong way around. So, there's no point worrying about it. Pitch. No, that's not right. Roll. Oh, that's the right way around now. The offsets are fine. Just vertical offset. No. Yes. Okay, this is right. -10, because it's 10 blocks exactly. That's perfect. Oh, it needs to yaw. Actually, it needs to be rotated around now because it's offset from the projector itself. This is going to go a bit weird when I do this. So, yaw. Okay, not yaw. Pitch. Okay, and then we need to place some offsets here. That should be correct now. So as you can see, these will build these side bits here. Hopefully it catches that block. This should build that block and that block. This is like, yeah. And these aren't doing squat, but they might be catching these a little bit, hopefully. And as we pull it through, it should build all the way to the bottom. So now what we need to do is actually extend all these pistons all the way. So that's K, that's pistons. Right, I need to figure out which one's which here. So piston 2. So missile piston 1. Is that the right one? Can't see. Missile piston 2. Missile piston 3. Right. Let's do a tiny bit of setup. This is temporary right now while I'm just get these right. Missile pistons. Right. So the velocity for all of them. We're just going to... Right. Now I can reverse them. And just see how much of this we actually pull through. Right, is that enough to catch
Energy low.
the bottom? Yeah, I think it'll just about get those things there. Now, all of them all the way. No. We've still got a bit more room to go there, so I need to go maximum distance. About there. Okay. So we have maximum distance, good. Yeah, it should be able to weld all that up just fine. And then what we do is we can like lower it a bit after that and then drop it. We may possibly need a script just to we have a script that can set different lengths for these for different stages, because once we've got it to there, we then need to be able to lower it down to a certain point where that can connect to something. So we need to put a connector on here somewhere. We've got this that we can do this with, maybe, or we could turn that back round and have a connector on here that talks to that. Right, yeah, this needs to be turned back round. I knew there was a reason I put that there, but I could never, I just totally blanked on it. Right, so that needs to go that way around. It won't break it because they're all of these are connected to cargo containers.
Energy critical.
Okay, so yeah, that can pull out a car, the thingy there. It could stop at some point actually and do that thing while, yeah, while it's welding it up. So it welds up with a parachute piece in. Right, let's get our energy. While we look at this. Crazy high, but it's not crazy high when it's not like welding it and ready to deploy. Quite compact the rest of the time. So using staggered pistons is a really good way of getting extra height without actually having a large initial build. It just needs a lot of horizontal space. We are part of the way there now. Now there's a problem. If I was to place... Aha. That is a problem. I may have to do this on the other side. Turn that back around again. We'll get there in the end. I didn't have to turn this back around, but I don't want to be thinking that that's where I'm going to place what I'm going to place. Because if I'd placed a connector on here, that's going to come slamming down on top of it and it's not going to then get to the bottom. We could place it here. I just need to think of a way to... because that's conveying into there. Through here. This is all pass through though. So I may need to conveyor back there through here. I may need to actually pull something out this way. See from there. See, that's passed through fine. I've just got to pull something from the back of there. Oh no, I don't. I don't need to do that. I just need to see from back here. Yeah, from there out and then to there. Question is how high do we place that thing? Not high, not very high at all actually. I think the tighter we keep this, the better. So place that there. We're definitely going to need a waterway around the outside now. Because we're not going to be able to go through there and round to the stairs on that in case of like needing to do any maintenance at the top. So let's put our connector on there. Yeah, that works. Right, so we need a way to stop the pistons at the right point so that they can connect and dump in some canvases. So we'll keep canvases in the inventory. When the inventory sees the parachute hatch fully welded up, it's going to automatically pull the necessary canvases into it. That's just how they work. That's not even remotely close enough. Okay. That should just work, I think. This might be a bit tight there, but it's welding down there and pulling it into that, so this shouldn't get in the way of the welding process. Pistons, missile pistons, reverse. Now we're going to have to definitely lower the velocity. Or rather a lot. Oh! That was really lucky. It nudged me out of the way instead of killing me. Yeah, okay, don't stand there when you're operating the pistons. I need to put some sort of a warning rail in here. Because I am the idiot that would do that. As just demonstrated by yours truly. Right, 0.02. Feels a bit jank when it's going slow.
Meteor storm inbound.
Oh. Uh-oh. It's going to come from below, so we might be okay. A bit like that might get taken out. Here we go. Don't waste ammo. They're not going to hit us. Did that hit that? Or did it get shot? Don't know. I think we're good. So that's moving extremely slowly. It would take a long time to weld, but at the very least that would certainly work. I think we can go just a bit faster than that, and we probably need to push our impulses a bit. Right. Missile pistons, let's tweak that velocity a little bit. 0.03. Inertia tensors on. Impulse axis could be quite high. Let's keep the non-impulse axis high as well. It's a bit shaky. This definitely might be a bit clangy. Okay, that's that. And that's there. So it needs to go up a little bit more. If I can get the first piston to take this exactly into place, then I can reduce something off maybe the third piston to compensate. We have to turn off the magnetic strength on this. I don't know if the other one's got magnetic strength as well. But the closer lined up this is, the less it's going to jerk the whole thing once it does connect. Yeah, that's about as lined up as it possibly gets. So if the first piston was able to get to there, to weld all of this, that is where the parachute is, and then you've got the connectors for this and the conveyors for this to the connector there. Gets to here, connect, that will pull through the parachute canvas from the system straight into there, disconnect, carry on welding. When it's finished welding, we then lower it back to a position where it's clear of all of this. So back to 0 position. Turn on the mass block. If we're stationed, that's fine. So turn on the mass block. Release. Watch it go. The gravity generator, we're going to probably move that a bit closer. Probably around here-ish. Just so we can keep that field a bit smaller. Right, so that's going to cover up to freezers here easily. It will cover across where
Energy critical.
Yeah. Yep, past there, that's fine. I think. Yep. Let's get our energy. Oh, it's a slower drop. We need O2 this time. So 2 gravity generators is going to have double the effect on the mass block, which is going to accelerate it at 2G. We can probably increase the gravity on each one to, I think it's anything up to like 10G maybe. So if we could increase both of them to use more power, but only needs it briefly. So we have a brief boost of 20G. We extend the height as much as we can so that the missile's in the gravity field for as long as possible. That'll get it up to a fairly decent speed. We could potentially end up with getting this missile up to maximum speed quite quickly. And that's what we want. We really want that thing doing 100 straight towards gravity. It's going to go straighter. That'll cancel out any other forces a bit more. It'll get it into gravity soon enough so that it doesn't become a problem. It doesn't end up stopping on us. Yeah, should work quite nicely. Right, so that's that. This is basically 90% of the build. Got some timer setups to do and stuff. We've got a couple of timer blocks on here actually, so we might need a few more. I mean, let's see how many timings are we going to need on this thing. We need 1 timing to make this go up to full height, just this 1 piston. We need a 2nd timer to tell... No, we want an event controller to tell that to connect. And it can also tell another timer to start to tell it to disconnect. So 1 timer to get that to there. Event controller does that, so we need an event... We need an event controller on here. Right, so let's get an event controller on here. I've covered up the event controller. That's typical. I need an interior plate. So let's just pull a bunch of interior plate into here just for now, just so that I can lay these out and then think about welding them out later. So 1 event controller. First timer, first piston up to the point where it can connect and turn the welders on at the same time so that it welds up the bottom of it. Event controller tells that to get connected and triggers the 2nd timer block. The 2nd timer block tells that not to connect and tells the rest of the pistons to keep going. That will weld up the rest of the thing. Then we need a 3rd timer to kick in to tell this to lower back into position. If we need to, we might not need to. It might be safe to drop this thing straight through. And 1 there as well. Oh no. That was nearly very bad. We got our gyro there. So right, that timer. Goes there. Okay. So if we need that timer to tell it to come back down, then we'll need 1 more timer at the very end of it to drop it. And that'll do the drop it, turn the gravs and everything on. Yeah. Two timers to drop it. One to turn the mass and grab on. One to release it. Because if we try to do them at the same time, it might not successfully turn the everything on. Right. So that's the whole timer sequence, and we can set it off with one button, the whole thing, from printing it to launching it. If we're doing it by remote control, we don't necessarily need to have all of the control on the launch side of it. We just need to get it welded up and back into position. But we'll have the extra timers just to be sure. Right. Got anything on our build plan? Nope. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, way over. Good job, gravity's so low. We're going to need to build some food facilities on here as well at some point. We're going to need a suite of cameras to go with our thrusters. We have to be careful how we put those in. Right, that's everything there. Okay, good. Yeah, let's just lower this again. So we're back in original position. We need to do some counting and timing at some point because I need to know how long each stage is going to take. We might need to do some weld testing just to see how long it takes to actually weld these things up. Some of the blocks will take longer than others. I should imagine the last piston is probably going to be one that's going to have the longest weld times because the gyro is there. Okay. Right, we're going to let that just do its thing. Go down now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go put myself up in my ship. Let's just check our batteries as well. 35. We are not getting any more power, I don't think. Or are we? Don't think we're getting any new power. Let's turn my lights off here so we can see better. Yeah, there's no sun anywhere here. We're a little way from the sun making its way around there. It's come around quite quick. Right, okay, so it's night time now, but it looks like it's going to be daytime pretty soon. So for the next episode, what we're going to do is we'll label up, or at least part set up, these timer blocks and the event controller there, just so that we've got that information in there for when we need to sort of finalize this setup. We're going to just get some juice, even if we have to steal it from here, we're going to get some juice into our ship, and then we're going to take the whole thing out for a trip to Mars. It might be a long trip away because we possibly might try to do the alien planet as well. We're going to need to make some food facilities to take with us, so I think at some point on here we're going to shove a little food buildy block thing from our daily needs survival kit. But next week, hopefully, we should start our journey to go and get platinum, more gold, maybe uranium, so that we can get some better power sources on here. So if you're not subscribed to us, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and leave a comment if you have anything that you'd like to tell me. And have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much.